Welcome back, everyone. I hope you and your families are doing well. So we're back on the transmission on the Jeep, and we're going to try to get it finished up today. I don't know that we will. We might run out of time because there's a few parts I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the inner transmission boot to come in. Should be in here today, maybe tomorrow at the latest. But we need to get the slave cylinder installed. We need to get the drive shafts installed. And we need to get the transfer case linkage installed and adjusted properly. I think that's about it. There might be one or two things I'm forgetting, and then we can see kind of how everything is going to fit in there. But yeah, we're getting very close. We might be done this video, at least enough to test it. We may not be if I don't get that inner transmission boot. And so maybe one more video at most. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into it, and let's see how far we get today. All right, so let's get the slave cylinder in here. Make sure it's all lined up properly. There we go. There's one down. All right, that's pretty good. That goes in there like that. All right, that part's done. I think we should hook up the transfer case next. Luckily, I have a cable shifter already, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this should be pretty easy. Essentially, this has just got a spring here, and it just clips over the ball of your transfer case. And I already have this mount on here. So hopefully we can get it somewhat in the same spot. We don't have to do too much adjusting, preferably none. All right, that's on there like that. And then I could spin this front yoke on the transfer case, so I'm assuming that's two-wheel drive because I cannot, yeah, the rear is engaged, so should be two-wheel drive. I have a suspicion the shifter is actually not in two-wheel drive though, so that means we're going to have to do some adjusting. So let's go up top. I'll look where it's at real quick, and then we'll come back and do some adjustment on this thing. Well, nope, I was wrong. It is in two-wheel drive, and the shifter appears to be engaging and disengaging pretty normally, so I am going to tighten this down. And then, yeah, I'm going to tighten this down because I think it's actually pretty good where it's at. And if I have to do small adjustments later on, I can just by coming here and twisting these. So I'm just going to lock it down for now. All right, I think that's pretty good. Should be right where we need it. Okay, on to the next thing. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the front drive shaft, the starter, and everything else. That's just basic stuff. There's no modifications you have to do there. It'll just bolt right up. Now, we're gonna take our modified transmission mount, and honestly, it turned out pretty good. Unless you, if you didn't knew I modified this piece right here, you wouldn't know it didn't come like that from the factory. So I think that turned out pretty good. Let's see if it works now. So we're gonna bolt it up here and see what happens. Now, one thing I do need to tell you, set this down for a second here, is you are gonna need different bolts. So these guys are 7/16 with a pitch of 14 by 1 1/8. Now I can only get 1 1/2 I have two options that you can grind it down, which I can do, but for right now, I'm just going to use a washer to space it, so that way I don't have to do that. And then I'll come back later with just the correct bolts and just swap them out when I can find them. So let's go ahead and get this up in here and get everything going. There it is. Oh, that's going to be a problem. So these are too long in the front. So the back of the case, my idea is okay, but in the front here, yeah, these right here are going to hit because the way the mount is shaped. Okay, so I am going to have to grind them down. No matter, I'll just get a tap and I'll leave two in here so it stays lined up, and I'll just grind these two down and put these back in, and then grind the other two down. Okay. Cut them all down, and then I dip the tips in paint to help protect them. So my recommendation is, if you can get the right size bolts, do it. That way you don't have to do this. All right, getting closer. I think the next step, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be to try to get the skid plate on and see if it fits. So let's do that. Okay, before we can get this skid plate in place, I'm going to have to move that jack. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set it, the whole thing on the tail shaft here. It should be okay for a minute while we reposition this jack here. And this is not the best spot, but don't know. I don't like that at all. We're just gonna have to see if we can get the skid plate in right here. We should be able to do it. Might be a little tight. But all right, let's grab the skid plate and we'll get it in there, and hopefully we can get in there with the jack right there. Otherwise, we're going to have to do something a tad different. All right.
Boy, if that fits, you'd be lucky.
I know.
Right here.
I know. I don't know if it's going to fit like that, but we're going to try it. All right.
Might have to move the jack back there.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Can you lift it like this? Can you lift it?
Yeah. Well, just put a jack underneath it. Huh?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fit like that. No, it's not. Okay, we're going to have to do something else.
Ready?
Uh-huh. Okay, don't go anymore. I guess it's wedged in there good enough.
You ready?
Yep. Here, get yours in. Got one? Oh, wait, hold on. Go up just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Just gonna... Okay, lower it down. There it goes. Yeah, that worked out very well. Fits just like it should. I'm glad we didn't really have to modify anything too much to make it fit. Basically bolt in, except for the grinding the one part of the mount off.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, put some bolts on it, and I think that'll be done for the day. All right, so we're almost to the end. We're almost done. I'm gonna call it quits here. I need a break, and the smoke is starting to really get to me. Visibility is less than a mile now here. It's getting really bad. But all we have to do is put the transmission bolts that go to the skid plate on, torque a few more things down, put oil in the transmission. I'm waiting on an inner boot. Mine is torn pretty bad and not really worth putting back in. Since I have everything apart, might as well replace it while I'm there. And put the rear drive shaft in. And other than that, we're gonna be done and ready for a test. And I don't really see any issues. So this might be a fairly straightforward swap. We'll see what happens when we start it up. So the next video will be test video for sure, and get it all done. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.